love is why I shine. We're running in the sun, living in your love. Our hearts alive in you. We're dancing through the night. We shine so bright. Jesus will always be children of the light. Children of the light. Children of the light. We're children of the light. We are the light of the world. Come on, let's light up the world. We are the light of the world, and we shine for you, Jesus. We are the light of the world. Come on, let's light up the world. Yeah. We are the light of the world, and we shine for you, Jesus. We're running in the sun, living in your love. Our hearts alive in you. We're dancing through the night. We shine so bright. Jesus will always be children of the light. Children of the light. Children of the light. We're children of the light. Children of the light. Like a sunburst, lighting up the sky. Your love found me, brought my world to life. You were the lamp to my feet. You were the light to my path. Oh, your love is spark to my life. Your love is why I shine. We're running in the sun, living in your love. Our hearts alive in you. We're dancing through the night. We shine so bright. Jesus will always be children of the light. Children of the light. Children of the light. We're children of the light. Only Jesus will I ever need. I know in Him I have everything. You were the lamp to my feet. You were the light to my path. Oh, your love is spark to my life. Your love is why I
Good evening,
shine.
everybody. Welcome to another episode of Talk with Pastor Tayo. My name is Angela, and we are here in Fashion A with the very own Pastor Tayo and Mr. Fashionati, the fashion designer, creative stylist. If you want to tell us a little bit more about yourself and where we are.
Thank you for deciding to have this edition in my store. Um, I'm a fashion designer, stylist, fashion blogger, and I'm honored to have Pastor Tayo in my office. I sell men's clothing, accessories, shoes, and what have you. I love to look good, and I like to see men like me look good too. So that's why we have Pastor Tayo here, and I think we'll.
Yeah, we can just get right into it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
Nice
Thanks
to
for
have you
having
here.
us. Thanks for having us. Thank you very much.
Well, I have a couple of questions here for you.
Okay.
They're not nerve-breaking, just I'm sure is what you'll be used to. The first question will be, what general principles guide your personal choice or choices while shopping for outfits, and what matters to you?
Oh, okay. I believe that the fit matters to me. It's gonna because a clothing item is a covering. It's supposed to augment you. So the fit is very important, how it's going to look on me, because it looks good on one other person doesn't mean it's going to look good on me.
That's very
So I definitely would love to see how it fits. And of course, secondly, the color also, because it's not every color that works for me. So I've come to understand that because, this person looks smashing in this color doesn't mean that it's going to be the same for me. And thirdly, the occasion.
Okay.
Yeah, because sometimes you are shopping for a specific occasion, so where you go to look for the things you want, what you want to portray. So all those things matters to me. So these are three essential things, that I want to look at: for the fit, the color, the occasion.
Excellent. I see you like to wear suits quite often. Do you have a preference? 3 buttons, 2 buttons, or 1 button?
I would say my preference is 2 buttons, then 1 button. It's been a long time that I wore a suit with 3 buttons.
I don't think they make those.
It's been ages,
I don't think they make those
so
anymore.
2 buttons, 1 button, But these days, I think 1 button is becoming very, very fashionable also.
Coming back.
Yeah, so 2 buttons or 1 button, yeah.
Excellent. My next question will be: everyone likes to look good and feel comfortable. At what point does our love to dress up become an idol or carnal?
Okay. For me, I believe that the point at which you need to just pause, reflect, and wonder what are you doing is when it becomes an obsession. When you just live for it. Everything is that you are going to a place. I have to look this way, I have to look that way. Let me tell you something. I remember reading someplace, where somebody said that some people, they are so conscious, they just want to be the person that everybody looks out for in an occasion, that they will even want to be the corpse at a funeral, So when it's now becoming that, you want to be the main focus at an occasion, you want to be this, you have to start checking yourself. That's number 1. Number 2 is when your wallet, everything in your wallet, you spend it on looking good, so because come to think of it, how many suits can you wear? How many shirts can you wear? How many shoes can you wear? It's nice to have different ones, but sometimes it's nice when you begin to pile up to be able to give away also. So the point at which I reflect, or anybody should reflect, is that when you are just consumed, that, I have to get that shirt. I have to, you have to really, take a step back and reflect that, listen, maybe it's becoming too much.
Common obsession.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. My next question would be, one thing is increasingly common on pulpits across the world. Pastors and ministers seem to be dressing down less suits and ties or collars and more casual jeans and shirts. What's your take on this?
Well, I'm all for it. I'm not against it. Definitely I'm all for it. I believe that for me, it's not about a trend. It's about the objective. It's about your congregation. Because if your congregation is mostly the younger ones, then they may not be able to identify with you if you are way, way, way high, you're dressing above them. Sometimes there has to be a bridge, whereby you can sort of, some people might take it wrongly when I say blending, but you have to be able to, let me use the word blend with them, gel with them. Maybe gel is better, because some people can take the negative aspect of blend, be able to gel with them, to be able to relate with them, one with them, because in anything, you have to have a relationship with somebody before you can have any form of influence on that individual. So the way you dress also it's a form of influence. It's a form of influence. Does it mean that you shouldn't dress in the way that they want to aspire, to look up to you? Of course, that is the balance there. That is the balance there. So once again, the objective is important. If the objective is just so that, I just want to be trendy or whatever, then you have to check it. But if it's the fact that you want to have a connection with your congregation, and your congregation, most of them, they are in t-shirts, they are in jeans, they are in some, once in a while, even if you are the die-hard with shirt, with tie and everything, once in a while, you need to mix it up. You should be able to mix it up.
It's very true.
Yeah.
And aside the questions, one thing I noticed about you, Pastor Tayo, is you like bow ties.
Okay.
And I see that you like you like to knot your bow ties yourself. Is there a reason why? Because I remember a while ago you came by and
Yeah.
suggested a bow tie to you. You said you rather like to make your own bow ties.
The reason why I love knotting my bow tie is that, fashion is a flair, and the bow tie you knot by yourself, it has attitude.
That's right.
Because the one that's already pre-knotted and stuff like that, it stands straight. So it doesn't really have to be perfect. The attitude in itself, so that's just it.
Oh, okay.
It's just a personal preference.
Oh, okay.
That's just it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
The next question. So one thing, hair is considered a form of fashion. What are acceptable ways to dress our hair as believers, both men and women? Does it really matter how you carry your hair?
A little bit, I would say it matters a little bit, because once again, look at the shape of your head. You have to understand yourself. If you understand yourself, you have to know what works for you. What works for you. And also, for me, I believe that as an individual, I tell my family, I tell them something. I say, you are not only representing yourself anywhere you are. Though you are representing yourself, if you are married, if you are a man, you are representing your wife. You have children, you are representing your family. You are a child of God, you are representing God. You belong to the church, you are representing the church. So it's just like that. So how you look is extremely important. For instance, for me as a person, I believe that it's too late. I don't have anything against if it works for them with their congregation, but it's too late for me to say I have a big hair and I'm putting it in locks or dreads or something like that. Maybe there are some pastors that it works for them, it's okay with their congregation, but it's going to look more somehow that, hey, what's going on here? So that's why I said that it matters to some extent. You have to know what works for your hair, how you represent your congregation, your family, God, so all those things, they speak.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for answering the question. And my last question to you will be, what will be your top 3 fashion tips to people who don't know much about dressing fashionably, but are willing to put some effort into dressing good?
Wow, I think it's just ties to maybe the first one or the first two, second question you asked me, because you have to know yourself. You have to know yourself, what works for your body. We are not sculpted the same way. Of course, maybe I can rephrase it this way, that we can go to the gym and sculpture ourselves differently. Broad shoulders, the packs and everything like that. But then, because somebody looks so smart, tight fitting and everything, but you have all the muscles, in different places. You have excess of them. Yeah, you know the way you look. So you have to know your body. You have to know your body because moderation is important. You know, it's nice to have the suits, the shirts. You know, I won't say tight fitting, right fitting. You know, it's nice, but then if maybe your tummy is so big and stuff like that, maybe you have to tone it down a little bit to make sure that some areas that needs to be covered because clothes are covering, they should be covered. So know yourself, very, very important. Know yourself. Know the color that works for you, and know the occasion you are going to. It's not every clothing item that's suited for every occasion. Know the occasion that you are going to. So those are the three main things. And as a stylist, maybe you can tell us, what are the things, because I know it's your specialty.
Yeah, well, for me, like you said, it all depends on your body.
Yeah.
It depends on like the way you're structured.
Yeah.
Some men like tight fitting suits, which I'm not against. Some men like it differently. And another thing that's important is these days men like to wear blazers, on denim. Yeah, it's a good attribute too for men to be able to like mix and match, wear a vest and a vest that will contrast your suit and stuff like that. So I mean, it's good to like to look good, but the other thing is that some men don't know how to put it together. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to open up my store, so I can be able to be a good influence on men. I mean, having them look trendy and look good, and how to mix and match, and I have some nice shoes that you can mix with your clothing items. And then again, how to match your shirt and your suit and your pocket square. I always like to emphasize is that a man is not complete. If you're wearing a suit, to complete your outfit, you should have a pocket square, and your pocket square should contrast what you're wearing, so it stands out. Sometimes it complements it, sometimes it contrasts. But I mean, like you said, it depends on your preference. I like mine to contrast. I see Pastor's own is like
it's modest because I wanted to match the song.
So
sometimes I make it loud because the shoe I'm wearing, I can just use it to match the shoe and stuff like that. Right. So you have to. And one thing we didn't talk about though is shoes.
Yes, I was just that was going to be my next question.
Oh, okay.
That what's your preference for shoes? Nowadays, there's double monk strap is in, lace ups, loafers, slip-ons, and I know it depends on the occasion, but I mean, what's your preference? I notice you most times when I go to church. I never see you wearing lace-ups. Is there?
I was going to say that. Maybe I would say that I've not really found, because you go to a store sometime and something just grabs you, and you try it on and it works.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but most of the lace-ups that I've put it on, they don't like really suits. They don't do it for me. Okay. They don't do it for me. These days I wear double monk straps, even single one also. I went to a store one day. What's the name of this airport? In Amsterdam. Schiphol. There's this store. I've forgotten the name. I bought this shoe. This double monk strap, and I went to another store to buy shirts, and I was complaining to the store owner that the shoe is very expensive, and the shoe owner said, "What kind of shoe did I buy?" I brought it up. He said, "Well, it's got to be expensive." He said, "You bought the Rolls Royce of shoes." That's the first time that we hear that.
Rolls Royce of shoes.
Yeah, because that was when I discovered that there's a shoemaker. It's not popular. It's not popular in North America, yeah. Miami.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not popular in North America. So I just started looking. Though it's not every one of his shoes that is, but I learned that they are for the, how will I say it now, the conservatively rich or something like that, you know. So, you know, so one thing I also learned is that no matter how good you dress, sometimes you can get away with a, I don't know, it depends, you know, even a $200 suit, you know, but you can't wear a $5,000 suit and wear a terrible shoe. You know, your shoe speaks volume. Your shoe speaks volume.
Like somebody was telling me that before they look at your face, the first thing they look at is your feet.
Yeah.
So a lot of people judge people from
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And when they see you, they look at your shoes first, and your shoes are nothing to write them about. Then right there, some people are judgmental.
Yeah.
They make up their mind about you just from looking at your feet.
Yeah, I learned that also. And you also see it, even some people are wearing the most, even tattered, not too, but by the time you look at their feet, you know that they are trying to make a statement.
Right.
They are drawing you to their feet, you know. So, and you know that for men, good shoes for men are quite pricey.
Oh, yes.
Quite pricey, you know.
You can say that again.
Yeah. You know, so.
Yeah, so Pastor, now I think I've asked you the question I want to ask. What I want to do for me now is to go into the showroom.
Okay.
I want to pick the best 3 suits that you think you will be your preference. Let's assume I say, Pastor, I want just choose any 3 suits and then it's for you to take on.
Okay.
Which 3 would you
Wow.
would you go with?
Okay, let's see. Let's see. Blue guy. So, and I also like double-breasted. So, let's see. I'm not a fan of black. I don't know why. I'm not a fan of black, except for, like I said, for occasions, maybe tuxedo or something like that. But these days, even I take navy blue tuxedo and stuff like that. And anyone I don't have, because if I had to make a choice, I can see 1 or 2 here. Wow. Okay. I know which one will be my number 1, but I think I have that one. Wow. It's a nice tuxedo also. Wow, I can see some nice suits here. I can see some nice suits. Wow, white. Good. Okay, you said 3, right?
Yeah, 3 choices.
3 choices. Okay, I think my 3 will be, and you look at it, they are likely going to be the same color. I'm going to take this. I think for casual, you know, this is also a good choice. Can I leave them on the rack?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just,
I can leave them on the rack. So, 2. Let me see. I'm not decided between this and this. Well, maybe the reason why I like this is just because of the crest there, you know. But this is just a very occasional suit. As it's a tuxedo, very occasional, depending on the fit. Because it's just crested, I have navy blue suit. Because I don't have this style, so I just take this. This will be the 3 choices, and you can see incidentally they have blue, but I love different shades of blue and gray. You know, those are my preference.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you. And by the special grace of God will continue to lift you up.
Amen.
You know,
Amen.
thanks for having us. Thanks for having us. We sincerely appreciate it.
And it wouldn't be fair if we had the show and didn't talk about women's fashion.
Yeah.
So we're gonna ask you some questions specifically about women. But first, I have a couple of items here. that you can take a look at, and if anything catches your eye, we can talk a little bit about that. You know, this is actually pants, not a skirt.
Okay.
There's this. This is beautiful. It's actually a dress. So your arms come out here. It's an overall Ankara piece, bedazzled. This is another dress here for summer occasions. You're going to a barbecue, you know, you can throw this on. Nice blazer that I would wear with a white dress, but that's just my preference. And some other pieces here. So what do you think about?
Very nice, very nice, very nice. It's ladies' fashion. For me, I love something that's different. So right off, though it's an Ankara outfit, I just love the construction of this.
Yeah.
You know, I love the construction, the detail. You know, wow. Whoever did this, I don't know what it looks like. Whether it's a, you said it's a dress, right?
Yeah, it is.
Wow. It looks like a Eskimo or I don't even know
Poncho.
what name, poncho.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a poncho. You know, so it's very nice. Whoever did it nice. You know, but like I mentioned earlier on during the meal segment, besides it looking good, it's also a right fit for whoever is going to wear it. You know, but it's very well done. The detail is, you know, is astounding. The details are astounding.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a couple of questions just for you. So, as a Christian man and as a husband, what do you think should be the focus for Christian women and young ladies when they're deciding what outfits they should wear?
Oh, how does it look? That's important. And then the modesty. You know, why are the modesty? Because sometimes I'm a man, right?
Yeah.
So I can speak to that. You know, sometimes we as men, or maybe younger, I can look at myself in the younger days, maybe because of the kind of life that I used to live. Sometimes when you see a lady, the way she's dressed, you kind of put her in a box, in a frame that,
yeah.
okay, maybe this is the kind of person. One could be wrong,
Right.
you know. You know, that's why I don't know whether it's still right now.
It is.
They say, dress the way you want to be addressed, you know. So I would say, of course, look good, but let there be a measure of modesty, you know. Let there be a measure of modesty.
I agree. So, with your experience in raising children, when do you think parents should, you know, kind of take a step back in dictating what their kids should wear and shopping for their children?
Dictating, that's the word that, you know, maybe advising. Even till today, I still advise my children. My first child is 21 years old. You know, I still advise, of course, it's an advice. It's up to him to take to the advice. I still advise him, you know, why don't you stop wearing this kind of shoes, you know, for this occasion. Start getting used to wearing dress shoes.
Right.
You know, my oldest daughter, you know what, why don't you wear this kind of outfit? I still advise, you know, so I don't think, does it ever stop? I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
But, you know, but the thing about it is that don't make it too official, or like you want to be dictatorial, you know, because that's the word that I took out, you know, that, okay, it's got to be my way, you know, it's got to be this, it's got to be that, you know. So allow them to put some bit of the flair into it, the way they are thinking, but then advise them that, you know what, this will look good. And let me stress this, you know, most surely my daughter, I advise her a lot. You know, I'm a man. I know certain things that men will be looking out for and stuff like that. You know, I want the best for you. You know, that's the way I go about it. Not that, you know what, if you don't dress this way, fire will fall and stuff like
Can't
that.
wear this.
You know, you can't. No, that's not the way. I advise. I let them see the reason why, you know, I'm saying this. You know, even with respect to makeup, we are not talking about makeup. I also advise about that too.
So, talking about makeup, that wasn't one of the questions that I had here, but I do have a question. I've noticed that a lot of young girls are becoming more open and more bold with the makeup. You know, we see people with pink lipstick, and people dye. There's a trend where you dye your eyebrows. So, do you have any thoughts about that? Yeah.
I don't even know that. You are teaching me that. So I have to watch out for that.
Yeah.
So, you know, okay, but the thing about it is that it's all about what suits you. You know, certain things can look good in the fashion magazine and stuff like that, and you want to make sure you are with the trend, you know, with the fad, but it doesn't work out for you. So, what suits you? Very, very important. And also, I mentioned modesty. You know, it's important that too many layers of, you know, tone it down a little bit. I know different people, they use it for different purposes, you know, but then certain things you're trying to cover, you know, hey, when the man that you're trying to attract with what you're trying to cover sees you later, he's going to be wondering that, hey, you never mentioned to me that you had all this, you know. So let's just tone it down. Let's be modest, you know. Let's be modest.
Yeah, that's fair. So fashion can turn into politics within the church. How can we as believers get rid of judging people based on how they dress?
Oh, yeah, that's something I am totally against, judging anybody. You know, it's not part of me. You know, it's more important if you feel that something is out of, you know, it's just outlandish in so whatever anybody is doing. It's better to be educated. You know, it's much better. You know, and the only way you can educate anybody is you try to find out where that person is coming from, what the person has been through, you know, what's making the person to do whatever the individual is doing. You know, that helps a lot. But to be just, oh, this person, you are dressed this way, you are something the way, you are straight off to hell and stuff like that. Hey, God has no place for that. You know, there's no place for that in Christendom, you know, because when you talk about even coming to the church, being a Christian, you know, even it's just like you come into a hospital. People will come with different ailments and stuff like that. Well, the doctor is expected to do what? To prescribe the right diagnosis, right treatment, you know, and stuff like that. Even for us as Christians, as pastors, as ministers, you know, as colleagues, going towards the same place, going to heaven, we are expected to show empathy to people. We are expected to do that, you know, so that's very important.
That's very good. What do you think about piercings and tattoos? What role would they play in Christianity and how in the church?
Okay, you can look at it different ways, you know, because let me look at where I'm coming from, you know. When I was a lot younger than this, not much tattoos, piercings. Even then, those that had tattoos, you know, we used to look at them as if they don't understand what's going on. Like they are country people, not like city slickers, you know, and stuff like that. But these days, you know, it's become the fad, you know. So, but the word of God, what's the word of God got to say concerning that? Okay, when you look at, where is it now? I believe it's Leviticus, the book of Leviticus, somewhere in the book of Leviticus. I think it's 1926 or 1928. It talks about we should not put any piercings on our body, you know, tattoos and stuff like that. But some others, we also counter that Jesus Christ has a tattoo.
Really?
Yeah. When you look at Revelation chapter 19, I believe verse 16, he said he has a name on his thigh that is called the King of Kings. So a name is tattooed on his thigh. Some others come up with that argument. You understand that? Listen, that some others will even say, oh, that's the Old Testament, but in the New Testament and stuff like that. Hey, but will I, because somebody has piercings or tattoos, start saying that, oh, God does not have any use
Yeah.
for you. I don't have a thinking like that. I don't have a thinking like that. But at the same time, can I be honest? You know, and that's because of maybe my background.
Yeah.
I don't really like tattoos on the body.
Yeah.
You know, that's me. But it doesn't mean that I'm against those that got it, or that they are going to hell and stuff like that. But in everything, even before you put something on your body, oh, I remember this wonderful story. You know, I read a book somewhere. I think it's one of these leadership books. I can't remember the name now. This man said he went to one of these Asian countries and he went to a tattoo parlor. And in the tattoo parlor, he saw some of the, what do you call it now? Is it the labels? What you can put on your body. This one says, there's one that says, I'm a born loser. So he now asks the question that does anyone put that on their body? He said, yes.
Wow.
And the man replied in his broken English, you know, he said, tattoo on mind before on body.
Right.
So where am I going with that? Is that what you put on your body is very, very important. You know, some people put the names of their child there or something like that. Am I for it? Am I against it? You know, it's just on the body, it's not on the heart.
Yeah.
It doesn't show, it doesn't mean that you love the person. It doesn't, that's the way I think. And I'm not saying I'm 100% right. But then some people put some weird something. Why don't you find out what is this all about that you are putting on your body? What does it signify? What does it mean? What does it something? And you know, and what I allow to mix with my blood for me is that's where I'm just going with the tattoo. What I allow to mix with my body is very important to me because the life of the flesh is in the blood. You know, what mixes it with my blood is very, very important. You know, so that's just my take on that. You know, anybody that's put tattoos on their body, let them think very well about it. But I can't legislate it even for my biological children, but I can advise them. I do advise them that, you know, based on this and stuff like that, you know, but then, hey, if somehow there's a tattoo on their body, you know, what am I going to do? I'm not going to kill them or anything like that, you know, so that's just my, you know, my take on that.
So do you believe that the way you dress says a lot about your character? And do you think there's a connection between your fashion sense, and your character as a person?
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a connection, you know, or character. I think there's a bit of a connection, you know. I think there's a bit of a connection because many times when you put on something, you are trying to send out a message, you know. When you dress in the, maybe if I will permit me to use the word wild, you know, or just outrageously and stuff like that, you are trying to pass out a message. Some people, they dress outrageously because they are crying out for help. You know, they are crying out for help. They want to be noticed. They want people to see them. They want, you know, they want the attention, you know. Some people, they do it even because self-esteem, that's the only way they can catch somebody's. But sometimes when you do that, you attract the wrong attention to yourself.
Right.
You attract the wrong people to yourself, you know. So that's just something I can say about that, you know. So like a man was saying at the time that when you keep on somebody that's gotten married, he's been married first time, you know, separated, another marriage and stuff like that. But the kind of men that this lady keeps on attracting, you know, they are not really the kind of men that she wanted. You understand? But something in her is attracting those kind of men.
Right.
you know. So that is also very, very important. Certain things we do, it's saying you are announcing yourself. You are sending out invitations that, you know what, this is who I am, come towards me, this is who I am. And in all honesty, in your heart of hearts, it might not be who you are. So that's why it's important that you know what I said earlier on, even for the men, modesty is very important, you know. Look good, look nice. Of course, you need to look good. Very, very important. You need to look good. Maybe you are a Christian, as you need to look good. You know, you need to look good. But in looking good, look good. Let me just put it that way. In looking good, look good.
I like that.
You know, in looking good, look good.
Like I think for a lot of women, the way you dress is an expression
Okay.
of how you're feeling. At least for me, when I wake up in the morning and I put something on, it's just an expression of how I'm feeling or what I think my day will go like. And dressing can also affect the way you feel, because if you're feeling and if you're in a down place and then you decide to get all dressed up and make yourself look nice, it can definitely cheer you up.
Yeah.
It's sort of therapeutic if you kind of think of it like that.
I love that.
Yeah, and if you're in a bad mood, then you decide that I'm just gonna put on sweatpants and continue my day, then you might end up just having another rough day. It's if you think about it that way, then yeah, it does reflect your character.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, thank you very much, Pastor
Thank
Taya,
you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for talking to us about fashion. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Talk with Pastor Tayo here at Fashion A. If you have any questions, you can definitely reach out to us. If you want to get a custom suits, reach out to us and we'll definitely set you up with Mr. Fashiranti himself. Thank you for watching. God bless.